Well, let's just get right in. Approval of the agenda. Move to approve. Jackie, we got a seconder. Rita, let's do it.
Jackie and Rita.
Everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and we can approve or move to adopt those.
I just had one question that I wasn't clear on, and sorry, I just want to make sure what it was in reference to. Okay, no, I figured it out. It was on page 5 of 38, under the first thing, this committee members discuss and agreed they would not need council or CEO approval to approach the artist for information. So that was just to talk to them about the piece.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
That's right.
I was just a little confused by that.
Okay.
Okay. So then I move to adopt minutes as circulated.
Second.
Good, second. Thank you, Marilyn. And we're here for public comments, so we'll leave that. Action items, let's review those. So again, just yes or no on those.
They're all on page 8, Scott. They're all listed there.
Thank you. All right, from the top, number 1, no. It'd be me, Phil, I'm gonna say no. Jackie, you
Yes.
did. And Shauna,
Yes.
okay. Marion is not here, so 3 forget now, and I don't think she included anything about that, so we'll just carry on. Shauna again,
Yes.
yes.
Done. Yeah.
Perfect. Steph did that, and we're
Did
here.
that, yeah.
It worked. And all of us, that's what.
That's what Maureen was going to talk about tonight, but I think we're going to have to
So
defer that.
We'll defer number 6. Great. Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Oh, there's no stamp on it, so
Okay, so let's go from the top. So the spirit of, so
So is the plaque attached, Scott? to
it is, yeah. It's
Yeah, I saw the
sitting
plaque
on the
today,
base.
too.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I was in line one day and I thought, actually it was my wife who ran up. We were sitting in line and I was talking about, we gotta discuss a plaque. And she said, is there not one on there? I said, we should take a look. And there it was.
There it was. We all feel like fools now.
Well, no, I mean, these sorts of details over time disappear in people's registries. So there you go. So that's the plaque.
Cool.
These are, I think I did a fairly good job of working out the text. Pretty sure it's correct. Would be happy to be corrected if not need be. So it is there. It's not pretty, as you can see. So I mean, both. I think there's a lot of damage and just general wear, and whoever put it in was really happy to be using that adhesive stuff. It's on there. It hasn't disappeared. So I guess
It was well stuck
it's
on.
done its job. All right. Okay.
I wonder if it
B.
changed color over time. It maybe didn't look quite that ugly when it was whacked
I'm not
on.
clear on B. Can anyone? Actually, before we run to that, any thoughts then? The plaque is there. You see what kind of conditions it's in. I would probably suggest if we're going to any trouble in the future to get Simon in to do work, that we should be considering maybe looking at redoing the plaque as an option.
What is that that's on it? Do you know?
It looks to me like a bronze plate, if I'm not mistaken.
But what's the dirt, is it part of the adhesive that's on there? Or
no,
what is that?
think
I
so.
believe it's whatever coating, clear coat was put on top of it. So
Oh.
it could very well be that all that needs doing is a sanding of the existing plaque,
Right.
to get all that finish off and maybe clean up. So maybe it's not a replacement, but just cleaning up and getting rid of all that adhesive,
Yeah.
and then cleaning the plaque and another, suitable metallic clear coat on the top. That might just do it, and that would be, I think, super cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think of, I think we should be including that in the scope of work when it comes time to be dealing with any restoration plans. How's everybody think about that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
okay.
It doesn't do a job, what it's supposed to do is
No,
communicate the
it's
information. and
pretty
it's
illegible.
not-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had to take a picture and zoom in Photoshop to find out.
Oh,
what
did
it
you?
was.
Yeah, so even if you.
Well, the light falls on it funny, you can't
Yeah.
see, so
Mhm.
anyway.
There's a lot of information to put on a plaque as well.
It is,
Or
yeah.
You need a bigger plaque, right? I mean, just scrunch that.
I think if it was legible, it would do the trick.
How big is it?
I would say it's roughly about like this.
Okay.
So I don't know, was that 12 by 10, something
So
like
it's
that?
got fairly small
It's fairly small, yeah.
Font, yeah.
font.
It is a fairly small font. Yeah, maybe I could have included, maybe it's slightly larger than that. Maybe I should put my hand in for scale or something. Didn't happen.
Thank you for the translation or the transcribing of it.
So then, on to B, Spirit of the Flame, permit to construct works.
It looks like it's just documentation of.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's
town-
document, this is the permit that was, when it was first
Ah.
initially, commissioned.
Right, okay.
And it was the,
This was on your list, Shauna?
yeah, it was owned, so there is actually no, paper trail that we could find. It's owned here, granted to the Long Island Chamber of Commerce, who then folded, and I don't know what happened to the asset, after. Is sitting on private land, it's not on the municipal right of way. But the people who own the land do not own the sculpture. So I don't actually know who owns the sculpture at this point. And we searched a lot of documents and council minutes and stuff and can't find anything about the transfer.
But do we have written permission from the Bell Ringers to have it on their property?
I don't know. I mean, they agreed to have it
Moved to their property.
moved
So-
there.
So the municipality, did you talk to Tina at all?
Yep.
Okay, and what was her recollection of it arriving there? And the municipality must have agreed to have, I know they did agree to have it
But
put on the
I
library
remember Tina
initially.
being quite upset
She
because
wasn't
she was
pleased because she
not.
hadn't been
consulted.
consulted, but it
Yeah.
was I know it was the municipality's decision to do that.
There's a
drawing right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tina's email was not conclusive.
Okay. My memory is, yeah, so I remember meetings with the municipality and the Chamber of Commerce about, talking about it, talking about what it would look like, where it would go. There, and I don't know if it was with Public Works or who, because I know there were a bunch of different places that they considered on the line.
Wherever it was placed on the lawn was not what was
Agreed to.
agreed to.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's correct as well.
Agreed to
Oh, you mean on the library
by
lawn, you mean?
Yes,
Oh.
by Tina, by the municipality,
Oh.
by
Well,
Public Works.
actually
or-
by the artists even, because then they had to, I just remember that they actually had a ceremony to accept it on the grounds, and then it got moved, which was kind of desecration in some way, and so they were not pleased. So they didn't choose to have it moved, I don't know, I don't recall what it is, but it's either set back here in meters, so maybe, I don't know, somebody
Okay,
got
so
it wrong.
probably, it sounds to me like, it's something that, everybody was probably acting in good faith and it all went through, but there was some things missed, protocol wasn't followed, or if there was even any protocol, it didn't happen. So now we're just in a situation where we don't have any official record of ownership.
That's right.
So we should probably think about rectifying that and getting some kind of document from municipalities stating that they are going to, I don't know, take over ownership or accept ownership from this day forward. We should really just clear that up and establish that. If it's, you know, if the artists are fine with that, at least that gives us, you know, a purview to actually do something and maintain it.
And hopefully that's not an issue that it's on private land, but owned by the municipality.
It shouldn't be an issue, yeah, I think if the sculpture is technically owned by the muni,
Yeah.
the fact that the fact that it's placed on private land and was accepted by the owner of that
Right.
plot, then we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's at least that part. Although, having said that, if we have a written statement, something simple from the bell ringers to say, yes, it's fine, that it's there,
Yeah, I think
then we've
so.
covered our bases.
Definitely.
Just get caught.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to have something in writing from the
Yeah.
bell ringers that says,
Mm-hmm.
we're cool with this.
Yes,
So I
yeah.
think David wrote that in an email, basically. Yes, we accept it to have it move on our property, but we do not own it. But, you know, we can get a more formal
Yeah.
agreement, I'm sure, but, and they accepted it on request of the municipality. So that's theirs, so they,
Okay.
so it was the municipality's decision or request, and it was because there was complaint about it being on that space, and the complainers were coming to council, and then I think the building said, well, we can move it on to our
Move it up
property.
there. Okay, yeah. Is that something, Shauna, that you can draft up on in letterhead?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
so those two items,
Yeah.
we'll get, that BIM will take the ownership, and that's just gonna go right into PAC files, so that we've got that. It's just catch up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because all that stuff is gonna be, all of those policy changes, or not policies, but the adjustments, amendments to it will carry forward and take care of these sorts of things. Okay, so action item, yes, Sophie, is it Sophie?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, yeah, Sophie did introduce herself.
Okay.
so I'm just-
Oh, you're Sophie Bim on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Mary Lynn.
Famous.
Okay, brilliant. So, you're back on board, Shauna, with some information here, so, 5.2.
5.2, we just
Yeah.
need to ratify, because we did it by email, the 4 appendices that have been added to the policy. We just need to ratify this recommendation, which was that the, I don't know what that means. Sophie, maybe you can help me.
You can just vote on it right now.
We just have to vote on
It just
it.
formalizes the resolution.
Okay,
So,
So it just
I
needs to
agree.
be moved or moved and seconded.
We moved.
is it as simple as that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. Mary Lynn,
Yeah.
you ran number 1,
I'll second that.
seconded Jackie, thank you. All of us are in favor, I think.
Sorry, can I just, I think I've lost the plot here for a minute. On the plaque,
Mhm.
have we set an amount that we're going to spend on that? Or?
On the plaque specifically?
Well, on the restoration or?
I think
We're
that's
gonna
that's
talk about
coming up.
that
Is
in
that-
Oh,
that-
okay,
yeah, that's-
sorry, I thought we were dealing with that.
No, yeah, those, sorry, yeah,
Oh,
we're
it's okay.
jumping on that just as, that was something that, information that was brought to our attention, but this document from Jackie is a late edition that we're just gonna discuss.
Oh, okay, sure, I'm sorry.
No,
Just like-
that's totally cool. Yeah, I can see why it feels like we're jumping around a little there. Okay, so Sophie, you're all caught up with that, we're okay?
Yep.
We've ratified. I'd like to thank you all, first of all, for a huge amount of work to get that all going through, and thank you, Shauna, for presenting. That's pretty fantastic. That's quick work for,
It is, it was very quick work.
yeah.
There were a couple of amendments, which are here in your page 18 of 38. Nothing that really changed the content, just a little bit of editing. The only one that really kind of changed the content in the donations was that a provision put in that BIM is not obligated to accept a bequest, or that we have the ability to accept it and then sell it if it is not part of ours. So
Okay.
that did get changed. Other than that, council carried unanimously all 4 of the procedures, and they have amended the public art program and policy to include them, which you now have in this amended package as well.
Wow, good work.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It must be the fantastic manner in which you present it, because
Yes.
what else has gone through that quickly?
Yeah, it went through just like that.
Awesome.
So there we go.
Kudos, Shauna.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got all those. Perfect. Okay. 6-1. Discussion reset.
Not sure what that was.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was on there, but.
These are all different.
Yeah, I think we talked about maybe striking subcommittees to engage in the work that we choose from our work plan, but probably talk about that first.
I don't know that warrants much time at this point, does it? Like,
Yeah, so I think too.
a
I
little
We have to have
premature.
something in order to
Come
talk
up
about.
later if-
It will come up later, definitely, if we
Yeah.
come to a point where we're needing to strike a subcommittee to help us make a decision, but at this point, I think that would be premature. We've got nothing to point it
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we'll defer that one?
we're gonna defer that one, definitely. I mean, if we defer, does that mean it's gonna just keep coming up on, like, the next
Well, the next,
agenda, next
when
agenda?
Steph would look for agenda items for the next meeting, she would probably populate that in, but you don't have to add it at the next meeting.
I would say
Take it out.
not,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's gonna come up in due course
Yeah.
automatically, so,
Okay.
yeah, I don't wanna keep having to go, what the heck are we talking about?
If it needs to come up, we'll.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and Maureen is not here, so the island plan, she's not,
I had a look at the island plan, I don't know.
No, okay.
It's not, it doesn't exist yet.
Totally fine.
We should defer that.
Okay, defer that, thank you, please, Sophie.
Because we will be doing the strategic plan with council. When? December or January?
I don't know.
We may
It's
need
been set yet.
Okay.
Okay, so, which brings us to 6-3. It's definitely something I'd prefer to have Maureen present for. She's a wealth of information.
Yeah. So, the reason we need to, I need to present, submit the budget for 2020 by November 1st,
Mhm.
which is why we're here
That
today.
Right.
So it would be good for us to at least start this conversation, whether or not we get through the whole work plan for 2020. I did confirm with Raj today that 2019, we had $10,000, and for 2020, we have $10,000. So we have up to $20,000 that we could spend potentially between now and December 2020.
Okay.
However, I have to submit capital projects
Mhm.
to get that money
Gotcha.
By November.
by November 1st.
Okay, coming up quick.
Coming up quick,
That's why we're-
which is why we call this, that's
Okay.
kind of why we needed to meet. So, I think what it would probably be helpful for us to kind of prioritize what we think we want the committee to do this
Mhm.
year, which isn't, believe we've already talked about some of those things.
Yes, we have, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we've probably got at least a working plan for moving forward to strive towards.
So some of the priorities for this year, and if we can kind of attach some funding to those in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Week. So Shauna, sorry, you said 10,000 this year and 10,000 next year?
10,000 for 2019 and 10,000 for 2020.
But that 10,000, if we do not spend it, will roll into our next budget, or will be put into
It's a capital reserve fund,
So it
so
goes into
there's
capital reserve.
$20,000, yes.
Okay.
We're not gonna lose that money if
Right.
we don't spend it.
It goes
We
into the
will
capital.
lose the $2,500
of
of
admin or
operating
maintenance.
maintenance. So we had 2,500, I think, for 2019. If we don't spend it, we don't roll that over.
Okay, so that's
We get
additional to
another
the 10,000.
2,500 in 2020, but it's operating, so it does
Right.
not
Thank you.
become cumulative. The 10,000 becomes cumulative. We don't have to spend it, it just keeps building in this
Right.
reserve
Okay.
fund. So, but if we think we're gonna spend $12,000 on X, Y, and Z, we need to submit, I have to put that in the capital projects budget
For November first.
for November 1st, which is next Friday.
We also,
Okay, so,
So it might be good to have a discussion around priorities and what we think. I mean, we have talked about the lock wall, we've talked
Mhm.
about this wall thingy down here,
the,
the
The
shot
gross-
grate or whatever, the
no, we
gross
are
wall.
not talking about that.
Oh, we're not talking
No,
about that?
that's,
I
that's,
don't think we've talked about that.
No.
Oh,
not
okay, I
yet,
thought we
no.
had talked about that.
that's never
So
gonna
the
come up.
lock wall, that's never gonna come up.
Public
Lock
committees never
wall,
do that.
we did talk about.
So I think the three things we've talked about, the lock wall, we've talked about potential donor
Yeah.
project. We've
That's
talked
all I
about
read.
our community project that's proposed with the water flashing. And we've talked about doing some maintenance on the plant,
Yep.
right? I guess that's what we're.
But the lock wall and the water.
Combined with the
yeah.
water.
yeah.
right, yeah.
And we talk about the lock wall, like the preparation of it,
Mhm.
trying to get the municipality to share expenses, right?
That
Did
was
we talk
my
about that?
hope,
We
yeah.
did, it's in the minutes, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
We
a
talked
public
about
works.
that, and I believe it went to,
It's in the minutes.
the recommendation went to council.
It did.
I think so, but I don't know where that landed.
Was that Maureen bringing it
Yeah,
forward?
Page
we
five.
brought that to
Page
council.
five.
A project would need to be decided on before work commenced.
Right,
That's right.
right, separating preparation of the wall budget from public works.
And I do recall some commentary that Public Works was stretched really thin.
Financially or
Time
personally?
or
Both. And that it may not have got a lot of traction. Doesn't mean we can't re-ask.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can somebody refresh my memory on how much that was gonna cost to clean it?
Very rough ballpark, I believe, would probably be landing somewhere around $3,000.
To clean it and then,
To strip the entire thing of the existing paints,
Right,
whatever's
okay.
in there, yeah.
3,000, did you say?
That, yeah, I would have to go back through my emails to get a better sense, but I think about 3,000. The only the complication in that one was the compressor, and I was really hoping that we could get one from Public Works, but they didn't have one, so that may be in the, like 3,000 plus compressor rental. Everything's a little more difficult being on the island, because you gotta get it here. But in any case, you know, when I look at these figures, so this $2,500 for maintenance, which will be lost if we don't spend it in this period in 2019, I think that's a no-brainer to spend that before we lose it and send it right over, at least part of it for the totem repair. Because, you know, it's in dire need of attention. We've already identified it clearly as something that, A, we're gonna keep, and B, that needs some work done to it. So,
Although I'm thinking that if we are looking now at this on page item, that the annual cleaning is estimated 350 to 500, but I think the suggestion is to do it in the spring. So
Mhm.
it could
Of
go
course.
to the next year's budget. So I'm thinking that 20, we could use money, 2,500 for next year's budget? Or
No, we
no.
can't.
No,
We
I'm
can't.
sorry,
That
I'm
is it.
confused. So your November 1st is for 2020? Okay, I apologize. I was
but that $2,500 that we have in
Yeah.
2019,
Yeah.
we don't spend that.
That's what, oh, don't we get another one in
We
2020?
get another one, but we don't get $5,000 then, now we only have
No, I
2,500 again.
do understand
Okay.
that, so I guess what I am saying is that that 25 that we have earmarked for 2019, well, we do wanna spend that, I agree with you, or we lose it, but we probably won't spend that by end of year, is when on that project, on the maintenance of the spirit plan.
Well,
Uh,
we
That's
could,
not
if
cleaning of it.
Not all
we,
of it,
if
yeah.
we did a contract with somebody to do it,
So maybe that way,
and maybe the work didn't get done until after the year, but
Yeah.
we've got a contract to do it. Wouldn't
Well,
that-
you know, it could,
We have to spend it.
have to spend it, okay.
Um,
I know, it's a great idea, Rita, I was.
In
I was-
2019?
Yes, but what about this annual cleaning and inspection piece that's on here?
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Rather than
I'm
doing the whole,
but I'm saying the cleaning's supposed to be done in the spring,
oh,
that's why.
Well, I mean,
in the plaque.
yeah, we could. We could have the work cleaned, if it hasn't been touched in so long.
Yeah.
No,
Let's do it,
Yeah,
let's
I feel
clean
like
it.
it's-
Since 2010.
Because if we're gonna get to a point of repainting, then cleaning it in the spring and then repainting it is moot, because you're stripping it anyway, right? So cleaning it in the fall is completely a reasonable task for something that's been ignored for so long. And then we can add a restoration of the existing plaque and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then we can go down the line next year and figure something else a little more, a little more intensive, but hopefully it does.
Yep.
And we've got at least a legible plaque with the info and a clean sculpture. And you know what, if Simon gets down there and he's cleaning it and he can do a few touch-up bits just for the time being, then we're kind of golden on that one. And no, we're not gonna spend the entire 2,500 on that, I don't want to, but, it wouldn't happen anyway.
So at least
So that's one.
we use part of it and we've done.
Yep, we haven't lost it,
something.
and we've made use of it. And then, let's see.
So who will get in touch with Simon to see what he could do, like how much are we gonna spend of the 2,500? Who wants to get in touch with Simon to see what he can do for that?
Well, let's see. Jackie, you've been talking to
Yeah,
him
I'm
already,
happy
would you
to
want
talk to him.
keep
but-
going?
yeah,
Okay.
so what-
So,
So again, so now do we need to be in a closed meeting to talk about this type of thing or not? Or we can openly speak about amounts of money and. Is it a proposal? It's actually looking at, a quote, an estimate to do the maintenance work on the sculpture. It's not really, it's not a quote, it's also a description of what needs to be done, so. Maybe not.
well, if he's got a cleaning and inspection from 350 to 500, if we go with the upper limit on that at 500 and then consider that a restoration of the plaque, 3 to 5 hours, another few hours at least on the plaque, you're gonna go, if we just went to an even $1,000. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Jackie, you're not gonna say, you get $1,000, but we're gonna get him to get Simon to, look at quoting for the plaque and what he thinks he might be able to accomplish, up to $1,000.
So
For-
cleaning and,
For cleaning,
cleaning.
any inspection.
Inspection, cleaning and plaque.
If other things come up out of that, then of course we can look at that, but I would think that up to $1,000 for that portion. Sophie, you've got it, so clean the plaque. So it's more like a restoring the plaque, I think, rather than just cleaning.
Right.
It needs a bit more work than just to clean. And, yeah, washing and inspection of the sculpture.
So kind of as per his first lines in here,
Yes.
start cleaning using a simple soap and water solution and brush and surface.
Now, this cleaning, on his
Remove
quote,
the
it
mold,
says,
moss and dirt buildup. Yeah, it says annual cleaning and inspection, so this may be dependent on the sculpture already being cleaned every year. Do you know what I mean? Like, the
Right.
fact that this
Once
hasn't
it's
been
been
touched
done.
in 9 years.
But I think we have to start somewhere.
Right,
So
right,
we
but I'm
can
saying
maybe
it's
start
probably
with
gonna be
cleaning.
more, it might be more than 350 to
Yeah.
500,
Mhm.
right?
Well, he
Because-
says if the cleaning inspection should take 1 day, and if needing a coating, so that would, depending on the condition, should take 2 more days of drying time, so he suggests 2 coats.
Well, I think,
I don't think we're going there yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
I also would caution us going too far if a full kind of repainting restoration is on, you know, on our books for next year. We don't wanna like make that job harder, because there's no point putting a beautiful clear coat over a bunch of junk,
Right.
Right.
right?
And I should read further because it says, yeah, the cleaning inspection should be carried annually, but the coating, again, done in early summer when the weather permits.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even.
We wouldn't even do that right now, absolutely,
Right.
yeah, it would be a waste, so yeah.
So it's
I still think,
cleaning.
I still think 500 would be a reasonable amount for that portion, plus another 500 to deal with the plaque. I think those two things together should
Yeah,
be adequate for dealing with that.
so that's it, so we have 1,800.
And these amounts are really just maintenance, and we haven't really identified any other works in the collection per se that, like, I can't think of a way of applying a maintenance amount to the lock block wall that
Yeah.
would be feasible with $1,500, although we could do a test section of pressure washing on the lock block wall and see if that takes the paint off, rather than, because the vapor blasting is,
Really expensive, right?
it is expensive, yeah, it's a much
That's a good
bigger
idea.
deal. But it, you know, it might, if it worked, wow, we'd be
Yeah.
happy little kids if that would happen.
That's,
What is
that's a
it?
good idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, that
So
could,
power washing.
Just as like one block or something, just to test it.
yeah, a little
Right, to see if
section,
it'll work.
yeah,
No,
I mean, I
do-
think
do
it's-
like a square, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three, 2x3 blocks or
Yeah.
whatever.
whatever, yeah, I don't know, I mean, maybe nothing happens, maybe it just gets cleaner paint, I don't know. But it's worth a shot, it's something that I think we could probably contract on island, somebody
Yeah,
who's
oh,
got
for
a
sure.
good pressure washer.
Yeah,
You know, not something that Canadian Tire, but
right.
you know, a really good one, just to give it a try, and I'm, like, do the public works have, no, we
They
can look
must
into.
have pressure washer, right?
We have a
For
couple,
stairs.
But I don't know how powerful.
You know what, throw that on action items for me, I will investigate
equipment.
some equipment and what's viable as a quick attempt to see what might work, rather than going the whole hog.
And how much budget shall we allocate for that?
How much we got left?
25,
You know, 1,500,
1,500.
I think 750 would be reasonable.
You think that much?
I don't think it would be that much,
No, I don't
but
think
up
so.
to.
Okay.
I don't think it would be even close to that though, right?
No,
Just doing pressure washing on a small
Oh, if
section.
we, you know what, if we have to actually hire somebody to do it, it could
And
be.
rent.
well, it's gonna be 5.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
can't even get my
Okay.
gutters cleaned for
That's true.
500
That's
bucks,
true.
right? So,
That's
you know,
true.
and it's about, you know, people are,
Yeah.
it's about the effort even to get to a job site. You gotta load everything up, get in a truck,
Yeah.
all, you know, facilitate yourself and da, da,
Yeah,
da, da. So,
okay, yeah,
I don't know. I get it,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think probably 500 is
Yeah.
plenty, but
Yeah.
especially for a test section.
right,
But would we be okay with
Yeah.
up to 750?
yeah.
We can adjust that.
Still got 750 left.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there gonna be any maintenance or anything, like with this donation from the community member, is any of that gonna be falling into this year, or?
I can't see anything being applicable with something that hasn't even been signed off. I think that would be a bit cart before the horse. But there are other, like,
What about that?
It's also admin, right? Maintenance and admin, that 2,500? So
Yeah.
we had to do a promotion or. Just trying to think if there's anything along those lines.
does it have to be for maintenance? What else could it be used for?
Advertising.
That's what I was just thinking.
If we did
Like,
a call or something.
yeah, or
we
like,
had to
because
send out marketing
some people know we
materials.
exist, but probably a lot of people don't know we exist,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mhm.
just say, like an introduction, and
But what if we
Or, I don't know.
did a bit of
Okay,
a,
here it is. Annual operating budget of 2,500 will be established to fund the administration and ongoing maintenance of public artwork in the budget year subsequent to approval. The operating budget provision will be incorporated into the annual budget process, subject to council. So
Okay.
fund the administration and ongoing maintenance of public artwork. Okay.
administration, okay, so what if we did some kind of a blurb that told everybody this program exists and ask for some feedback from the community? What do they want to see happen in the line of public?
Dangerous territory.
I
think
know
that's
it
why
is.
we're here. Yeah.
I
you
know it
it
is. But it doesn't matter whatever we do,
Mhm, mhm.
we are going to get pushback from
Somewhere,
some
sure.
section.
Absolutely.
And so why don't you meet it head on?
So what would you ask? How would you
Mhm,
frame it?
mhm.
Well, I have to think about that a little bit more. I'm only blind by the seat of my pants here. Well, first of all, we'd have to do a blurb about what the public art policy actually encompasses, what we're supposed to be doing, which is the education piece. And then could we say something along the lines that the committee is looking to the community for some creative, innovative ideas?
are we ready for that?
I don't know that I like it. I like, I like the idea of saying hello.
What do you
But
want,
the
anything else,
community,
okay?
well, I think going, like, doing nothing, having done nothing, and then going to the community out of the gate with a fairly, it's a really difficult question to phrase carefully. And then you set up some expectations. Maybe you don't mean to, but maybe they come out of it. And then we have an idea also. We're almost promoting the idea that we're here to to help facilitate the community's great art ideas, right? And then
But we
imagine
are.
a flood, right? Well, we are, but in a very controlled fashion.
I know that, and I'm okay, I'm just throwing
I know,
stuff
you
out
are,
at
that's
you.
awesome, yeah, this is it, this is brainstorming, yeah.
So-
And, maybe we don't run all the numbers out, but anyway.
I also had another idea. So part of our policy is under the section of program plan. So the public arts program short and medium-term priorities include, so establish public art advisory, we've done that. Develop and implement best practices, so our policy development. So the next one is create and manage a public art inventory. So we've done some work on that. So what about we combine, hi, we're here, this is what we're doing, did you know that Golden Island has public art? And just identify some of those public art projects. And, that's
Yes.
pretty much
Like a public
it.
art
Yeah.
walk.
And looking forward to
Right.
new projects coming up, watch for, you'll hear more from us
Yeah,
coming through.
I like it,
Yeah,
yeah.
so then they just establish.
That's a hello, it also,
who we
talks about
are,
what's
moving
already out there.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's more what I'm thinking of.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what about, what about bringing in an art consultant to sort of formulate the introduction? Is that something that applies?
I don't know if we need an art consultant.
Okay. No?
And I don't think we can afford one either with the money that's left. I was, in terms of using the money, I don't know if we want to go that far, if it's that big of a PR thing, but we either
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that, okay? All right.
No.
That
I would, can we make a Facebook group? Or Facebook, no,
You
no.
know,
Can we do a
Just-
public art
just-
walk?
ju-
Can we do an event?
oh, you wanna do something?
Well, I don't. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well,
It's my recreation
Well,
hat coming in here.
and that's-
Walk to
we
the
do
public
have,
arts.
we do have a public art walk that's already created, right? I mean, I've got a brochure, I mean, it's dated, it has to be updated, and we could easily do that. That's a really good idea. Okay, I got excited. No, because you know what we could do, we have established, it's not, the public is not necessarily owned by the community, but what we could do is we introduce who we are and just highlight, these are some of the, you could take your walk and do a little brochure with that information.
And where's the brochure?
So it's an information brochure
In
and
the
the walk.
undercurrent or something, or how do we get it out?
So when
just a
we
mail?
we print some and we distribute them
Yeah.
in the usual way municipalities.
Okay.
What about
What I'd really like to see that done, like, not by one of us, like, kind of properly, by a professional
I-
graphic designer.
I agree.
So, fair enough,
Yeah.
except for we have all of those with that material to pull together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
and because we had a walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
When would we have this ready? So we need to be able to spend the money, but, by the end of the year, or can we take longer to spend the money?
Has to be
What's the
budgeted.
timeline?
It has to be by the end of the year. We also don't have to spend
I
money.
know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put $2,500 in the budget for 2020 for maintenance, and by then we may actually have some more things to maintain.
Definitely.
We already know that this sculpture is gonna cost potentially more to maintain than we have right now, like on a annual basis.
Which, the tour?
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, like, to get it up to, like.
Oh, yeah,
current,
that could
right?
be a chunk for that one time,
There could be a
yes.
chunk for that
How
one
old is it?
time. It was 2010, so.
2010,
it's
right, of
almost
course.
10 years.
All right. Yeah.
So
Okay, it's coming up.
by what he's described there, it looks
Yeah.
like, so,
How about if we put $500 in the budget to do a promo on the committee and develop a brochure?
I'm just not sure if it's done by the end of the
Pardon?
year. I'm just not sure if we can spend it by the end of the year.
Well,
But
maybe we could
2 months?
hire somebody to do it.
What pieces are all on the art walk? I know.
there's about 8 or 10 or more.
And are they which ones are, do you remember?
So they start with, there's stuff down at the marina, some sculpture down at the marina, the dock.
Okay.
And you walk up, there's of course the memorial garden, there's some public art in there. Go over to the orchard, the old orchard, we know that there's public art there. Then you go up to the school, there's a whole bunch of, it's on school board land, but it is public from that perspective, so a bunch of things. And then Artisan Square, there's a whole bunch of different things. So you can do this whole little circle.
So,
Takes about
But
an
it's
Do
hour.
we have-
we already have that
It's all
information
together,
in, so
yeah.
it
so we have
would-
photos, and we have
we have
information, and we
photos.
have artist names, and we have everything attached to each
I
one.
think we actually
Okay.
should hire me to do a job because in my back, I do have graphic design background, but I have it all, but I can't do it to the end of the year. So, no, I'm joking. But it wouldn't be that difficult of a job to do and add in the information about the public art policy.
Well, if we took,
I'm wondering, the public art policy, I don't really feel like that's like what the community needs to be
No, I
educated
agree.
on.
I
think
agree.
the community needs to be
Yeah.
educated on why public art's important,
Program.
what it gives them,
Yep.
how it creates public space where people want to be, where they get socially connected, social cohesion, community belonging.
Mhm.
I feel like that's where the public education piece comes in,
Yeah.
as opposed to well, now we have this policy and this committee, so.
Yeah, so it's the
So-
program, so that's what I meant,
Right.
it's more not the policy, but it's called a program and a policy, but
Right.
the program, I agree.
I think the art walk thing, updating that, I think it's a great idea, but I think it's a bigger project than we have. Like, just to pull that off, to come
up with the proper design that looks really professional and all
Yeah.
of that stuff. I think it's a bigger project.
So
I
it
think
could be a capital project that comes out of the $10,000.
next year.
That we get for 2020.
Yeah.
Is that a capital project?
Yeah, I don't know, I don't think it is, I think it fits squarely in
It's
the
promotion and.
promotion.
Communication, communication.
Yeah, and I feel like if we got somebody on it, like somebody who can craft words, so a writer, and then we need a photograph of all of us, as a. What? Come on, you don't
Yeah.
want people to know who you are?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's about the committee,
Yes.
I think it's about the program. Yeah, I don't think it's about the committee at all. It's about municipality. how-
No, but we're saying hello, right? We are, but, okay, if, I mean, whatever.
It's the
If-
public art.
It's the
I think
people.
it's the art,
So,
the art on the.
Photo or no photo,
Yeah.
I think that initial welcome, hello statement, it would be an important one, and I think it's something that I'd like to see done by somebody who writes about art and knows how to formulate and dialogue around between the sort of rarefied sense of art and making it digestible and welcoming to a public who may or may not be so informed in that stuff. It's important to do that, to get it right, and I'd rather it not fall on one of us.
I tend to use.
I'd like to see it being, just to keep it, also just a way of, that kind of objective distance off of it as well. I don't know, I think it's something that could be achieved before the end of the year
Yeah.
if we outsourced. If we've got material already and photos and information to package it up, and then we outsource a very circumscribed segment of it, which is draft a blurb that is a way of introducing us, and and then put that together to be sent out, we could do it.
So are we thinking of a four-color, say, three-fold brochure? That's what we did before. That's fine.
Yeah, sure, yeah, I mean, or something else, I don't know what, there are maybe other
And-
options.
Because now I'm thinking printing costs
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
So we have about, not that we need to spend it all, but there's $750 left, I think. So if you're hiring
It's not gonna get.
a consultant and a printer,
Yeah.
it's a pretty tight budget now.
Yeah, okay, so printing costs would be like, well, okay, so the other thing that we were looking at, the testing thing, we knocked that down to 5. We could get rid of it or knock it down to 5.
What are we getting rid of?
The pressure
The
wash.
pressure washing test, yeah, right? We could probably snag that for 5. No, we've already
So
said
what's the
that.
price?
We've already
Yeah.
done that. I don't know.
A
Or does that
trifold
feel
brochure,
rushed?
does that give enough space to have a photo of 8 places and a description
Yeah,
is that?
it does. I mean, it's not describing each piece of art, and that's, so, I mean, it's not speaking those terms, it's speaking about the value of public art. Why it's important, why we're celebrating the fact that Bowen Island now has a public art program. And, and perhaps you've already enjoyed the public art, and here is some things that you might not have yet discovered, so introducing those items, and then staying tuned for more. So it's
It's a great idea, and I think we need to do it. We absolutely do need
Well,
to do it.
it's a
But
priority.
I'm thinking it's
It's
just,
a
like,
priority for the
it's pretty quick.
I think,
You think so too?
I do, yeah, I think it's gotta be presented
Yeah,
in the right way,
yeah, and we're
and
coming
not
up to a
ju-
very, sorry.
yeah, just,
I agree, I think the timeline is too
Okay, you know what, we're not gonna spend the money.
No, I
think
don't.
we should just,
It's not scrambled
defer
to
that.
do it.
Yeah, we're
Let's
not.
do it, but let's not.
Yeah.
scramble
agree,
definitely we have to do it, yeah,
yeah.
so, but not, okay.
So the communications piece is really important going forward.
Definitely. Yeah, before we break ground on anything or
Yeah.
move forward, I think that's
Yeah.
definitely an introduction, hello, is
Yeah.
absolutely vital. We should make sure to put that on the agenda for next meeting. 'Cause
Well,
I'd
we're
like to-
looking, oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, I'm just
Yeah.
looking for our budget
Yeah,
going forward too, so we can consider it for future. So do we want to stay with the power wash test for this year's budget?
yeah, no, I think we should, because spring is gonna come quick and I'd like to know that we can do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's two for this.
1750 for our office.
Yeah,
Okay.
Get going.
that doesn't look greedy.
No. And we're, you know, we're just starting late in the year.
Yeah.
That's good. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so the communications, we're going to defer at the moment.
Yes.
And we're not assigning budget to that, because we're,
No. I'd like to, the other thing about possibly bringing in an outside person is also like, maybe thinking a little differently about how we might present that stuff. And rather than the typical brochure, there's other ways. I know there's other ways. And we're the art department, we should be doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
So that's,
Another option is not go print it all, do a website or.
sure, yeah, I
Send
think,
people
and
to
I'd
the
like to,
website,
yeah.
right? So that may be the way we want to do the communication.
Absolutely. There's walking tours on phones. Like, what about
Yeah.
the
An app.
kids that are an
An
app? Like, I don't know, there's lots of ways
So that
to
could be
explore
that.
that, and I don't think we're gonna do it before the end of the year, and I'd like to
No.
see, I'd like to, everybody in that discussion as well, because it's a big one.
An app would be great,
That would be
actually.
pretty cool, right? Like, I don't know, never done one, never seen work like that, but yeah.
Okay, so that's,
so it does, just in terms of our funding for the $10,000, it doesn't have to be for capital projects. It does say to ensure public art flourishes on Belleville. The municipality will allocate an annual contribution of $10,000 to a newly established public art reserve. So I would consider this communication piece
Mhm.
flourishing.
Mhm.
Flourishing, absolutely.
when we did propose that policy, and speak from the council that brought it forward, was it was also the idea of paying of artist fees. Remember that we needed money to pay that, so that
Mhm.
was kind of a priority for that, so we actually did.
Absolutely, I'm a big
Art,
proponent of
so
that.
so,
You get a lot better work being submitted if people are getting paid.
so anyway, but
Okay.
Okay, we could revisit that.
okay,
So-
so we have two projects and
Couple of projects we need to think about then, the lock block wall and the donation from the community member for the 2020 budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're into the $10,000, or the 20, actually, 20,000.
Because the
10 for 2019,
Okay, so
but
it'll
it
be,
rolls over, and 10 for 2020. So, the wall project.
You have to come up with a better name for
Yeah,
that.
some kind of
Yes.
acronym or something.
W.
We're all gonna
There
be
needs to
fumbling
be
over that
a
word.
cleaning.
okay, now we're having next.
Well, see, I don't like, let's not do cleaning, let's do a
Prepping?
surface preparation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a bigger deal.
Surface preparation, and then is this a this is something that we're proposing? Or
Yeah,
we're not
so we
putting out
need to draft a call. We need to do
So
that.
administration, it's really administration and, call for submissions. Well, oh, sorry, you mean to do the work for that? Sorry, and to do the actual work of, on the lock block wall?
Like what we're gonna do?
No,
Wait,
the
what?
project. So the draft, the call for proposal is for the project? So are we not going to do that community project?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
we
doing
don't-
a call for
we're not
proposals
doing-
just
we
yet.
don't
That will
need
be in
to.
Yeah.
future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we are looking for is, we will need to draft a call for submissions for local professional artists who do painting, right?
Mhm. Yeah, because we're gonna spray, right, we're gonna spray them with the
We
water.
spray them with the water,
Make
get
an
the
outline, and then
it's-
people come in and paint inside the outline.
An artist or team,
Yeah.
if that's what it is, who are,
Yeah.
have some experience with mural painting are gonna
Yeah.
go and professionally, properly paint the
Right.
figure outlines and the background and da-da-da-da. Because that was something we talked about, not having the kids doing it, it would be a giant gong show.
Should we, I mean, I'm thinking we should do a test of like one person,
Mm-hmm.
right, before we even, like, we should make sure that we got it, the
Yeah.
procedure down, that it
Yeah.
actually, like, because the timing, right, depending on the weather, depending on how
Yeah.
hot it is, like, if
Yeah.
you spray the water, the
Could
water's
be-
gonna evaporate, could evaporate like really quickly, and, you know, it could be a bit of a gong show.
Does this template go to council? This is what you're filling in, Shauna?
We need to give council a work plan, it doesn't have to be this template, we can change this, it was just something we pulled off quickly, to put in the agenda.
Okay, because I think spray the people who have like,
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
so I think
this
we'll-
is just,
we maybe call it,
Water spray?
just call it, like if we have a title like, paint the town or something, I don't know, but, just so that they're not.
Yeah, we'll have to
this
come
is
up
for,
with
this will be
Is this
edited,
internal?
this will be edited.
Okay, good.
I'm not sending
Yeah,
this,
so we
this
just need
does
to
not have
get
to
it
be
all
in the
down.
budget.
So it's a project, yeah, so the project will be line will create, project. this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say things like.
Water
develop.
salts, lovely.
Develop.
Under, in between the surface preparation, let's note what Marilyn was saying about a test section. We have to do that. Okay, good. So then we need, water source, professional responsibility. We need, call for submissions from,
Actually, it needs to be before, prior to event, we need to, prior for the, to putting on a call, what if it doesn't work?
Well,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
that service
And what kind
provides.
of paint to use?
So we need to research all that prior
Yeah.
to doing this, but
Yeah.
that's part of our work, but,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, I
test section and, yeah, okay.
see. Yeah, method, methodology and media that we're using.
yeah,
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 perfect.
And then we need to create a list of equipment, or create a list of, supplies and equipment that we will need.
mm-hmm.
So that's important, which will also help inform how much money we need to spend.
And then there's also the issue of some kind of platform or something, right? Because there's that concrete barrier,
Yep.
right, that's gonna cover
So we.
high
yeah,
half of the
we were-
silhouettes,
yeah,
right? So we
yeah.
have to figure that, like how to raise the kids up on,
Yeah, like some kind of long bench, it could be simply a 2x10 bench that we just drag along with the sections. Because you're not gonna do it all in one go, right?
I think the video was kind of all in one.
It was, yes,
right?
but then by the time you're getting to the end.
Yeah, right, that's not
There's no way
gonna
to fill
work.
in that quickly, so you could do, it's also about organizing groups of kids, so you maybe wanna
Yeah.
do them in blocks of 10 or
Yeah.
something, right? Zoom,
Right.
and then they do a little bit of work, and then the next group comes
That-
in 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, and
Right,
again,
that
and
makes-
then
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be less chaotic that
it
way,
would be
right?
less chaotic,
Yeah.
and then you don't have a whole bunch of people going, what the heck, I waited here for an hour and nothing happened, or whatever.
Exactly, yeah, so like, so if we do a bunch of kids, like, we've gotta figure out how long is it gonna do that?
Yep.
So like, and then we have to like give all the kids numbers
Totally,
and say, okay, 1 to 10, you're from 1 o'clock to 1:15.
exactly.
The next group is from 1:15 to 1:30,
Yeah.
like,
And it could be a day-long event, we've got,
Yeah.
We
we've got
need a
some,
project coordinator, I think.
yes,
Yep.
we
So
do,
we need a lot
Yep.
for project coordination.
yep.
and how do we do this time with the ferry?
Yes.
But we did talk about it being maybe as a program, a recreational program, right? If it's the summer,
Yeah.
Well,
set it up as a
But they,
program, right?
yeah, but they would provide the children, not necessarily.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
coordination, okay,
Right.
fair enough, but at least we would have, a source.
There's lots of ways we can attach things to it.
Yeah.
So project coordinator, so there needs to be some kind
Because people coming, because this is gonna take more than an hour.
Yes.
And people coming off the ferry, walking off the ferry, are gonna have to be guided to the other side of the street,
So they don't
of.
get.
Marshall,
Right.
we need Marshall.
right? So, just,
Getting more complicated. So can you guys explain to me, because I'm not really clear on this concept. So I know the kids stand up there, if the spray happens, and then what are we painting? Is it
So,
just an outline?
Well, the way that I'm imagining this, so you're not gonna paint just the outlines or anything like that, but let's say they spray the kids, and you get the dry part where they were, is quickly outlined in chalk or something. Then, that's, the water effect is gonna disappear quite quickly, but then we're left with the outline. And then wherever the kids are standing, that might be like painted as if to look like a lawn, or rocks, or a gravel pathway, I don't know, it is up to the artist to figure that stuff, right? To take care of that elevation. Then we have the outline, so then, you know, whether we involve the kids in choosing their colors or something like that, like we give them a palette, like, you know, and then we can do, I don't know how they'll figure it out, it's the coordinator job, but figure out what colors they want to be, and then they paint the silhouettes and all the colors, and then maybe they go around with another color, or a gray on the back, or a blue as a sky on the back, so you've got all these colorful kids or whatever. So you've got the entire thing painted, but one, like...
Do you think we paint the background?
So it sounds like we need an artist to do this, so it does,
Yes.
in other words, what we're going to do is propose, this community, public art, and we need a artist / project coordinator to carry it out.
That could be two
And
different
so-
people,
Well,
yes.
okay.
I think in fact it has to be, because to be
Yeah.
the artist, concentrate on all that, and then trying to coordinate all the kids, we need somebody off doing it like, you know when schools do all the photos for the kids? It's like the photographer's just sitting there, boom, 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 and somebody is just funneling kids
Yeah.
away.
No, I appreciate that, I'm just thinking that the artist actually has to have that whole concept view of what it's gonna look like at the end, and be able to then orchestrate it with the coordinator, but they're gonna be the one that's really determining what the outcome.
Well, to some degree, so the way I think we're all envisioning this is not, it's not an open call in the sense of like, hey, we've got this opportunity for a public art space, send us your proposals, and then we form a committee to decide which is the best one based on all the stuff that we have. It's not like this. This is a slightly different thing. So we're actually, it's almost like, rather than calling for proposals, we're almost commissioning,
Yes.
right? We're saying, this is what we're really hoping for.
Mhm.
And yes, we want the feedback from that artist, but we run a really careful rein on this first project. So we want to kind of dictate a little bit more. And not every artist, not every person who wants to get involved is going to like that, but then this isn't their project,
That's right.
right? Yeah.
But we will commission an artist to carry out this project when we've already defined.
Yes,
Totally.
perfect.
You know, and yes, we would welcome ideas, but we've got a fairly tight idea of what we're hoping for, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good, that's clear in my head now.
Okay. I think, I don't want to speak for all of us. so
Yeah,
just-
no,
is
that's
there-
perfect.
Oh, that's what
Well,
I-
I'm sorry, I'm being very dense here. But, okay, we got the kids lined up, we're spraying, the outline is done.
Yes,
Is that the end of the kids' commitment?
yes.
Yeah.
They choose their colors if they want. I don't know if that's something, but they choose their colors
Okay,
and off they go.
so
'Cause we had to
then
get them
the
out of the way.
artist takes over?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm clear.
Okay.
It's
Kids are just there to get wet.
Yeah, their
Yes.
experience is getting wet.
Just there to
And
get
going to
wet.
get some freezies, because we're gonna have
Exactly.
we're gonna have somebody there with like hundreds
Yeah,
of freezies.
yeah.
Project coordinator,
That's
hundreds
right.
of freezies.
Take it away.
Once you're done, here's your
Yeah,
picture.
here's your freezy.
That's good, it's just when you're talking about kids and paint and color, and I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, no, that's why we're not getting
Kids aren't
involved in
gonna
that
paint,
part. No,
kids
no,
aren't
no.
gonna paint.
Okay, good,
No, no, no.
good.
Okay, so how much do we think that's all gonna
Oh,
cost?
So I think we need to break
A
it down.
lot.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
this. So surface prep, let's say 3,500 for now, just to be safe. Project coordinator, well, there's
Well, let's
planning.
figure hours, let's figure out how many
Yeah.
hours, so are we saying 60 hours?
Oh, that seems high, doesn't it?
Well, how long will, how long will the project take the day off, or whatever, how many days?
So-
Wow, we have to go back to the drawing and see how many kids.
So I want to be careful just before we get into too much nitty gritty, because I know Shauna, you want to get out of here.
It's
probably not gonna happen,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, it could.
Yeah.
8:30.
I mean, these.
Do you want to just throw a number out?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with trying to figure out a budget to something we haven't had any time to digest or go
Right.
through.
Yeah.
Is I think it's best if we just do some really rough numbers, throw them in there that we can all agree on, And we're not necessarily gonna stick to them exactly, but it's something we
It's
can
probably
get in.
better to overestimate
Right.
too, because I can say, oh, we're gonna spend $15,000, and then if we don't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But to be able to answer that properly will take half an hour, right? You know, just that one line. So,
exactly.
So what do we wanna say?
well, I think 3,500 to 4,000 is probably safe on that surface preparation. Project coordinator, that's not my area. Maybe can you throw out a number, Jackie, that,
I feel like I kind of get some sense of hours,
let's say,
Can we budget $10,000
for the entire project.
Yeah,
for the entire
yeah.
project?
Yeah,
It's not gonna cost that much.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
It
can we
means
say
we
70,
have
let's say $7,500.
$7,500.
7,500, we're still really high.
you think we're high? No,
You don't think so?
no.
If it's 3,500
Not with all the
to
paint
prep
and
the
the-
surface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten the materials, we haven't gotten the artist
Yeah.
time, that's gonna be quite expensive.
$10,000.
Easy.
$10,000. By the
Yeah.
time we do the,
Let's go for 10,000.
the prep, the coordinator and artist
I think it's high, but.
and all materials,
If it is, awesome.
Well, it doesn't matter, we don't have to take that.
That's right.
We can
We're-
put that
it's gonna
money
roll
back.
over, right?
This is the reserve, right? It
Something.
can, just because we're gonna,
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just.
just one question, we
Okay.
have like a gazillion kids on Bowen. How do we pick,
Manage that.
how do we
but I don't
pick?
think we don't have
We
to
don't need to
decide
decide that
tonight.
right now,
Okay,
and
okay.
It's a
maybe,
great
you know
question.
what, maybe
Totally
it's,
fine.
maybe we do it by grade fours, they're a perfect size. That's who gets to do it.
Okay.
And next year is the lucky grade fours, and then
Yeah.
maybe we look
Yeah,
at doing it
okay.
every year with grade
Okay.
fours.
Sorry, I threw that out, so
So-
just like.
Okay, Shauna, are you going on the 8th?
I would like to.
Yeah, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's
So all
just,
we have to do is figure out the 2,500 then?
Uh,
No,
No,
we have
we're
another
not
10.
figuring out the 2,500,
Oh,
all we need to do is figure out some donation from community member.
Okay.
Is there any money that we need out of the budget to attach to that?
So we probably need a little.
Uh,
Oh, well, we
Well,
have.
there's a base, like a base,
Yeah.
Let's
or,
look at our requirements.
So the donation amount would pay for the sculpture and and a little bit for maintenance,
Yes.
right? So, yeah, we need to do all the infrastructure prep to get it.
And also, we will probably do some PR around, some
Absolutely.
communication.
Yep, okay.
So,
Uh,
infrastructure, insurance,
I'm
we
gonna
probably
fix
do some
this.
by
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
municipality.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And is this for the library? Is that what you said?
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah. Not, it's not
Okay.
sure, but.
Luckily, it's fairly straightforward. We're really just looking at a concrete
Base.
slab
Yeah,
where it attaches to. It doesn't need to be, it could be subgrade, it could be gravel over top, it could be bark
oh,
mulch.
yeah.
Right, bark mulch is a
Bark.
safety thing, I'm fitting with the sculpture, something like that. So yeah, it's really just a
The
concrete
artist,
slab.
the artist would have some input on that.
Yep,
right,
definitely.
obviously.
And then we need maybe some signage?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Plaque.
again, that could be attached to the grid, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
So if we got like at the city of Vancouver, if we hire, if I'm hiring external departments, like engineering to come in to help me with something, they bill us. Is that the same for,
Yes,
yeah, okay. So
yes. If we
they
have
would
public
probably be
works
happy
do
to,
something.
yeah, they'd happy to help us do it, but they want to get paid for that.
Yes,
Yes,
they do.
okay, as they should, that's fine. Just wanted to check. Nothing's free.
So this one,
$1,500.
Too low.
Pardon?
For the base.
For the base,
yeah,
substrate,
way low.
signage.
Too
For
low. We-
concrete?
For concrete
Oh,
slab?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's digging out, gravel,
Oh, God,
compactor, forming, rebar,
oh,
structure, mounts,
At
da-da-da,
least 5.
5, yeah.
Will there
Okay.
need to be any remediation work in the area after that?
There probably will,
So-
definitely,
so-
that's-
so
yeah.
put in remediation.
Okay, so I'd say 7,500.
sure,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Easy,
So
yeah.
two.
So that's about it for our,
Yep,
the 2 years. Well,
Well, we have 2,500, so that can go towards the flame
Well,
thing,
wait,
right?
wait, there's
Continuing
things.
with that,
Some more
coating it, the
maintenance
coat,
on
the
the
coating
plane.
it and all that.
well, let's put that in, let's do
Yeah.
flame and do 2,500, that's our 20 grand,
Yeah.
and then we're
And then
obviously gonna do our best to get all these things to happen for less.
Right,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Perfect.
there we
That's our amount.
So,
Fast and dirty.
my bad, but, so the 2,500 for this year, we're only gonna apply for
What was it,
17, whatever.
1750?
Yeah.
The 2,500 for next year, where is that going?
We haven't decided and we don't need to.
That'll be our
It's
promo. We don't need to,
It's
that's right.
ongoing.
We don't need to.
We don't need to
We
do
don't-
that in
don't we
this
have to
budget.
ask?
I will ask for the 2,500.
Okay, as an
So we
ongoing
don't have to
maintenance.
say what we're
Oh.
gonna do with it, but the 20 or the
We do.
10, we have to say, yeah, we have to say what we're gonna do with it.
Cool.
Okay, off you go.
Good, awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
We are-
Good work.
Yes,
And it's
so
great.
we'll call that meeting adjourned.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Good, well done.